It's
I,
a
I love it.
it's a really big show.
I love
Really
like
big.
I love like we were like, all right, we're ready to go. Let's start the show. And then like as soon as I say like, yeah, I'm ready, I have to like stifle a burp.
Well,
So
that
it's just like
you're supposed to.
I'm ready to go.
If you're gonna burp in your mic, I prefer you do it on stream so that like we can at least say it's like part of our shtick. Steven burp and bin.
It's just fucking too like let's watch these gross fucking human beings
Yeah, I
talk about
know.
the best games of the year.
Well, not necessarily just the best games of the year.
Nah, but a lot of them.
Yes.
And it's kind of I'm kind of bummed I can't actually see your webcam anymore, and like that's only on the stream because I noticed you were growing out some facial hair.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
got. I think I made an error in judgment. There was I got a better webcam, even though I just bought the other one because the really good HD webcam's on sale right now, and so I was like, I better grab that while it's like $40 off. But now
yeah,
you can see like all of these details, and I think that was a misstep. I should probably switch back to like my little blurry, like terrible lighting webcam. But yeah, I haven't shaved in like 2 weeks, and this is what I have.
yeah,
I'm just trying to catch up to you. It's just like The Witcher. I was trying to catch up to you, and that it didn't work. I'm trying to catch up to your facial hair.
yeah. I don't I don't intentionally like grow it out. I actually hate the feeling
Hmm.
of facial hair.
Me too,
Um,
but I kind of hate the act of shaving just as much, so it's a constant struggle.
yeah, I hate shaving more. Like I try to like trim my facial hair, like whatever there is, this patchy mess. But then like there gets to a point where it's just the mustache is too annoying. I gotta fucking cut it all off. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the best facial hair in games. What was your pick, Steve?
Well, this pick will come up a lot, but that's got to be Witcher, right? Because it's got the dynamic beard growth.
You know, it does, but it also has that weird thing when you do grow the beard out that like in dialogue scenes and stuff, like it has to like there's points in the where the game doesn't remember like, oh, he's supposed to have a beard, and then it like so the beard is gone and then it like renders back in like every time Geralt has a line of dialogue.
Yeah, and I don't have that like Tress effects, whatever, like video card enabled thing, so that a lot of times you'll get like the facial hair or just his hair in general, like clipping into itself,
Oh
and
yeah, like it cuts into the armor
yeah.
stuff. A beard so strong it could cut armor.
It's funny because it is genuinely one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. Sometimes, and then
Sometimes.
yeah, and then other
Like
times
the
close-ups aren't its best friend usually.
like for the most part, like you and me have both been playing it. I've been on a mad dash to beat the game because I felt like that was the last thing I really needed to do before we talked about like, you know, best of in this 2015 and this year of our Lord 2015. Um and I know you're pretty close.
Hmm.
Like
Well, see,
where are you?
that's part of it. I was surprised because I kind of thought there was like a lot more story to go, and there. I mean, there is and
Well, there
isn't.
kind of is. Like we when we were talking last week, we were talking how we were all in Skellige,
Right.
and like that is kind of like that sets up kind of the last third of the game, but the main quest sort of becomes really streamlined at that point. And
Right. And I think it's part of it is it sounds like you're kind of like me where that was the point where I started ignoring like all the job boards and all the like little markers on the map. I used to go to like oh, here's another bandit hideout. I'm going to veer off of what I'm doing and go do that, or oh, here's a
right,
side quest. And then it not only does it really pick up the pace as far as the main plot, but you're just kind of done. And that's one thing I appreciate about the game is it lets you like I at least so far, I'm not quite done, but I'm in that like really final stretch, and I've not felt like under leveled or anything. I'm not having a problem with that. Um,
no, and there's a big point in those final quests where I talked about it on Twitter where Yeah, I leveled up like 4 times in just a
Oh
set
yeah,
of like
yeah.
cutscenes and boss fights, really. And well, and then after that, I was like level 30. And once you're level 30, you're pretty much good to go. And like all the main quests kind of level you up. Like just like once you're at a point where you can start sort of that final gauntlet of like main quests, you don't really have to worry about leveling up anymore.
Yeah.
Um, which I appreciated because I really didn't want to fucking like people might get the idea that I was like intentionally like trying to just rush through to beat it. But I was stopping to do side quests if they interested me. Like the problem is there's so many side quests and it was like kind of I got to a point where all that was left was either like Gwent stuff
I
or
hate Gwent. I know that's
yeah,
unpopular, but that well, I'll put it this way. I like Gwent. I think it's a great game. I wish it was standalone. There's enough other cooler stuff that I want to do in The Witcher that like Gwent just feels like it gets in the way. Now, if they had a
I,
standalone like Hearthstone with Gwent, I think it would be perfectly fine.
I don't mind it being included in the game. I just because you can get some cool stuff from it, I guess, but I just didn't like it. I didn't really take the time to understand it. I kept winning every time a quest would make me play it, but I didn't really understand how I was winning. It seemed like the AI was just stupid.
Yeah. The two things that I
Um,
hate the most in the game, and when I say hate, that's probably too strong a word, but the two kinds of quests when they force you to do them that I really was like, oh, is Gwent. And fortunately, I think they really only make you do the like introduction to tell you like, hey, look, this is in the game. And then the horse race. Anytime there's a horse, and not necessarily just like a oh let's race horses because I bet I'm faster than you, but like when there's a segment where it's like quick Roach we got to run away, and it's like god damn it, this horse controls like a I think it's inbred. um
yeah. Well, I don't want to talk too much about overall stuff yet with that. I feel like we're going to have a lot of stuff to say
yeah,
about
yeah.
The Witcher in
So
general. So,
anyway,
but it is what we were playing.
yeah, and to answer your
Uh,
question without getting I guess not really, I don't care too much about spoilers because it's been out for 6 months or so, I think. April, is that when it came out?
uh, Fuck, I don't think it was April.
Hmm. But anyway,
Maybe June. I
yeah,
don't know.
it's been out a while. But I'm not going to. Well, this is what happens, and here's whatever. But I am just past the what's it, Kaer like the big long where the wild or hunt is. You're basically fighting them head on.
Right.
Um, and then you go off on like another quest line. I mean, that's the quest chain that I'm on right now. I'm like back in Velen, I think it is.
So
Um,
you did that fight in
yeah,
Karamore.
yeah.
All right. So I would say you have probably 3 more days of gameplay to go. No. Um, but there is a lot after that.
I know, I can tell because every time you think it's about to wrap up, because they set that up, you're like, all right, big final fight, here we go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, nope. And then they're like, okay, well, that went not how we expected. Well, we're going to have to
Right.
do this, and then this thing over here needs done. And you're like, oh, well, here comes like at least four more quests. But when I say quest, each quest tends to work out to be like a chain of things. It's
Yeah.
so,
I will say there was only like one more side quest after that point that I felt was like worth doing. Um, and it's like, yeah, like you go back to like the assassination plot on the king. And like that seems like something you have to do, and
I
it
was
does.
curious about that because I completely forgot about it until you had to like round up your allies. And I'm like, wait, wasn't there something going on over here? Like,
Yeah, weren't you guys planning it? It is some, and then like, yeah, they do come back to it, fortunately, and it does like it affects the ending you get, how you proceed through it.
yeah.
So it was something I wanted to make sure I did. Um, but anyway, so that's about where you are. You're pretty close to the end, which I'm impressed.
The thing is, well, we'll talk about it, but it's such a damn good game. Like yesterday, I got home from work like at 5 because it was such a shitty day. I left 5 minutes early, and I live minutes away. So I got home like right at 5 and literally walked in the door, hung my coat up, and fired up The Witcher. And I played. Tara came home and cooked dinner. We had like grilled cheese, so it wasn't like a big production. I stopped to eat that and talk to her for maybe a half hour, and then went back to Witcher until about 11:30. And I know for gamers are like 6 hours, that's nothing. Well, no, but I mean, it's 6 hours after an 8 hour shift. Um, and,
That's pretty much been my last week,
right.
honestly. So that and a lot of drinking and irresponsibility.
I know. I'm intrigued. You mentioned that. I assume. Are you talking about the not your father's
Ginger ale.
ginger ale? Yeah, yeah. I didn't know they did the ginger ale. I don't like root beer, like regular or hard, but I like ginger ale and I like alcohol. So when you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, well, there's
Oh,
a new
and
mission.
it's and as amazing as the root beer is, the ginger ale is like it could be, a little more bubbly, but when you chill it and stuff, like it's outstanding. And it's the same percentage. So there's really no reason to drink the fucking root beer anymore because the like
Well,
ginger ale's better. It's
here's
same
where
percentage.
here's where my mind goes. Ginger ale is one of the things that I really like to use to make mixed drinks. So now I have like an alcoholic
Mm,
ginger ale that I can mix with bourbon.
that's
And
a that's bad news.
no, that sounds like really good news. Like I can't
Yeah,
wait to have a night where I don't have anything the next day.
you can make a drink and call it the death wish, and then yeah, that's great news. But yeah, me and my friends discovered that, and that was fun. Like my friend bought that, and I bought like one of those variety packs, and like, hey, this seems neat. Like, here's a beer that says like it's a Ben and Jerry's flavored thing,
I saw
and
that.
it's fucking terrible.
I've
It's one
kind
of
of
the
figured like
like I don't like those really like dessert beers anyway. There's some like they're kind of like they just kind of taste muddy to me and gross. I'm not a huge fan of like anything that's like spiced or some shit. Like I prefer beer to just, be various states of bitter, really. Unless it's like a Guinness or something, but I don't get fucked up on Guinness. I get fucked up on regular beer.
I don't
Um,
drink a lot of beer anymore. I mean, to the point where we went out
you're
to
a
eat.
classy individual.
I know. I've got. Well, we've talked about it before the show, but I've. Well, I'm trying to hold it up, but people have seen me sipping it the whole fucking time. Got my scotch sitting here, my $21 a bottle scotch, because I'm a fancy dude. Um, I think at that point it's not even really scotch. That's kind of like that Canadian mist, like Canada's favorite whiskey. I'm like, no, no. Um, but anyway, um, so yeah, I've been playing. I played a lot of Witcher, but I played a lot of other stuff too. And I won't talk about it specifically because it all has to do with our end of the year awards that we're going to be talking about. But because we're doing this, it made me go back and replay a lot of the games that I've played this year.
Yeah.
And that's actually been really cool. I mean, when I say go back and replay, I don't mean I sat down like Ori and the Blind Forest. I went back and played a little bit of that. I didn't play through that, although I probably could because I think you can get through that in like 4 or 5 hours. Um,
Some people can. I,
did you end up
you with
playing
a
that?
platformer? No, I can't. Like
Uh,
my computer can't run it, and
I thought your
it's
new
only
PC
on
could.
no, it's. I mean, it might be able to, but it's right on that fringe of like my CPU is overclocked, and for some reason, like it's weird. Like I can play Metal Gear Solid 5 with absolutely no technical problems at
Right.
all, but if I try to play like fucking Doom 3 or fucking Layers of Fear, um, you, it's yeah, you get fucked up. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Um, so yeah, I mean it's one of those things that like I don't want to spend $20 if I can't play it. So yeah, uh,
Yeah, it's a shame because I think you'd really like it. Um, but I went back and played some of that. Really, what it is I have a video I'm putting together, so I needed to capture some gameplay footage because I'm too stupid to. I stream almost everything I play, but I don't usually save like local just raw gameplay footage. And I didn't want something that has like my webcam over it and whatever. So I went back and I played a lot of the games that are on my list of nominations, and it's just been really cool, especially with I don't know. We'll probably just jump right into it. Um, it really helped put into perspective some of these other games. Where it really helped the most is when we had the big three that I was kind of wrestling with, between like Fallout and Metal Gear and Witcher.
And
Where
when we're talking about best toilet game, right?
right.
Right. So so
You know what was
yeah,
funny? Like I suggested that category because I thought it was like a really clever, like instead of saying best mobile game, haha, and then I realized I played like one fucking mobile game all year. So I was
exactly.
like, well,
Yeah, that same fucking thing happened to me, and my game fucking sucks.
yeah, mine too.
Well, not it doesn't suck. It's a good game, but it's completely basic. But we'll talk about that. Let's not start with the category that's going to be shit. Um,
We could
we'll
probably
start.
go in order because well, I don't know what order you have yours in, but
I have it in the order I sent it to you.
good.
Um,
That's the order I'm in. We're on the same page. That doesn't happen too often.
all right. So best writing. Yeah, I have two nominees. The Witcher 3 and Mega Man. As we
Mm,
all know, Mega Man. Uh, the
It's known
timeless
for its
story of a boy
right,
robot who
right.
dreams big and becomes a hero. Touches me every time.
Can you
Wily,
hold up a doll and show us where he touches you every time?
in my heart and my pooper.
Witcher 3 was one of my picks as well. Um, at the time, because this was, I wrote this down before I jumped back in. I picked it just for, mostly for the side quests. We've talked many a time about how varied and creative and interesting the side quests are.
Yeah,
And how much I love that they can be humorous or they can be gut wrenching or they can be something else entirely. And
yeah.
but at the time, I felt the main story was kind of not really well fleshed out because it really isn't for the first two-thirds of the game. It's just we're looking for Siri.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of a wild goose chase.
right.
Um, and you kind of get caught up more in the world and the other characters than you do like your task. But I really feel like near the end it really picks up, and it's
That's what I
kind
was
of
gonna say. Like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the main story becomes this like that's part of why I've been playing so much. It's not. I joke about like I was trying to keep up with you or catch up. It has nothing to do with that. I could care less. How many games if we both played that you finished that I never even came
right.
close. But you start playing and it's just like it becomes this like really interesting drama that you want to resolve. And of course, every quest chain leads to another kind of unanswered question. You're like, damn it.
And we had an interesting discussion about Yennefer in that game.
Hmm.
And I feel like when you finally meet up with her, and she's like, it's not like, well, fuck, where could she be? Which kind of happens. You run into her and then she disappears again. Um, and then when you finally catch up to her, I feel like she does a great job sort of reminding you the urgency of what you're trying to do by not by like, come on, Geralt, hurry up, but by like how she behaves and how she handles situations in the world. Like I was like, you know what? She's being a fucking asshole, but she's right. We can't really afford to, soothe the feelings of every goddamn village we come across because like we need to fucking do this practically to
Right.
find Siri.
And at the time, what you're talking about is I said something on Twitter about how I really didn't like Yennefer. And I don't mean like, oh, she's a bad character. I meant like,
She's an asshole,
yeah. But
which
then
I agree with.
she continues to evolve, and you start to see the why behind it, and that there is, because for a time you just feel like her little lapdog, and I think that was and again, a complaint. I don't want to take the wrong way. Like complaint, like oh, it's bad, but like complaint as a person, like as if I'm in Geralt's shoes, it like I felt like I'm just her like lapdog. Like it, the way that it worked out, it's like he really, really cares about her, which is odd for a Witcher, and he's already kind of wrestling with those feelings, it seems. But then she's just like, oh yeah, I kind of care about you. Go do this thing for me. Oh, by the way, that I was using you, and we're really doing this, and you're like, son of a bitch. Um, but then they really show her other side, and you realize that all goes into why I can't say why I picked it because I mentioned that I wrote it down before I got to these points in the story, but that's the kind of writing that made me list that
Yeah.
for best writing. The other one that I have, and I know you have probably no interest in it, and I don't know that you're that familiar with it, but Shadowrun Hong Kong, all the Shadowruns really, but Hong Kong's one that came out this year. Um, I really like that game. The ambience and most of how they create that, it's through the writing, through the text and dialogue, and just the world that they create. Um, so that was my other. I only had two nominations for this category, and those were the two.
Yeah. I have to, give a nod to Bloodborne. I it's weird to me, like when you like how, like can like how conflicting ideas people have about these games, like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff. Like some people think like, oh, why should I have to dig into like all this shit to like get the writing and the lore out of it? But that's something I always loved. But that's something I loved about Dark Souls. That's something I think is even better handled in Bloodborne. Just like how much depth there is behind everything, but it's all optional.
Are you the kind of
Like
person that reads every book in Skyrim?
no, hell no. Um, Yeah, but to be fair, the books in Skyrim are not as interesting as the item descriptions in Bloodborne. Like when you get a sword that turns into like a fucking whip or something, you want to know like what you kind of want to know the story behind that. Like why did that become like a practical idea to them? And there's an explanation for all of it.
Hmm.
And it's that they're fucking crazy on one level, but also because it's like certain this was something that came up in like the old hunters DLC. Is this like kind of what I said? It's like it's your basic saw weapon, but it extends in kind of a whip-like way, and it's really bloody. And then you realize like this sort of takes place in like an earlier part in the timeline, and that was when they just were going with like whatever would kill the monsters. And then you realize like they got so afraid of like the evil blood stuff, like the corruption that was happening to their hunters, that they developed more and more sophisticated weapons. It was still bloody as hell, but you know, from for some reason my webcam just jumped away.
Yeah, I still
Um,
gotcha.
that was all
Yeah.
right. Cool. That was weird, but
Well,
I like
nobody.
that sort
Let's
of stuff.
be honest. Nobody tunes in to see these faces anyway.
Sure. Um, but yeah, so I don't think it's the best writing. But I do think it's really like I like that type of storytelling, and I like that there's a developer who's like so masterful at it, where it's like, drop me into a place and then just leave me with like questions and let me go and find the answers. Like that's a really unique thing to do. Um, but yeah, I have to give it to The Witcher 3, like especially near the end there when you do find Ciri. Like that relationship between Geralt and Ciri is really, really fucking well done. Like the writing for it is like they could have easily made Ciri this horrible fucking Anakin Skywalker whiny character. Like, oh, I have all the power to destroy the universe, and this is horrible. But instead, like it's she comes across as really natural, like really like not doom and gloom, but like there's an equal halves like lightheartedness and the and my dogs won't shut up. So
Well, they're trying to get their 2 cents in. They're like, Ben, you're fucking idiots. We don't agree
yeah,
with you at all.
yeah. What about Fallout 4 and 3? Um, it, what about Fallout 4 and 3? Is there good writing in that?
No, I hate the writing. Well, 3 again is moot because that wasn't this year. We're looking at 2015 games. Fallout 4. Admittedly, I don't think either of us are very far into that. I want to say because I just pulled up my Steam stats. I think I'm 17 hours in or something. But the writing has not impressed me. That's not what keeps me coming back to Fallout 4.
Well, yeah, like all the just the dialogue alone in that game was so cringeworthy to me. Like,
I like the meme that's going around right now about the Minutemen. How they're like, yeah, we're the Minutemen, and our job is to help people here in the wasteland, and by that we mean you do everything.
yeah, we're gonna
Like,
stay here.
hey, stranger that we have never met before, we're trusting you to do all this work for us because we're well known and good guys.
Yeah, Dude Craft saying that in Diamond City it's okay. I have not gotten to Diamond City in that game.
I know
A
it's been
lot
on
of
my
people I know
quest.
playing it.
They like that part. It's been on my quest list. That's one of the earliest like quests you get is okay, go to Diamond City, and I've been ignoring the crap out of it because I'm like, the the most fun I have in that game. We I think we talked about it last week or the week before is when I'm just exploring and coming across like random things. So I
Yeah, when
have
you're not doing what it tells you to
right.
do, that's really when it's at its best.
And I was gonna
Um,
say, don't worry, Fallout 4 should pop up here in one of our categories, but I didn't. Spoiler alert! I'm looking through my picks, and I didn't pick it for anything.
yeah, yeah, it's well documented on this show that I'm not huge on it so far. I will go back to it, but going back and finishing up The Witcher seemed more important. Playing some of the other stuff seemed more important. Like I don't really have any more time for that game to grab me before these awards.
Right.
So
Right.
um,
Maybe we'll get to like January, and we'll both be like, "Fuck, wish we had
that
finished that sooner."
happens pretty much every fucking
Well,
year.
yeah, you talked about 2 years ago, I think, with XCOM. Um,
XCOM, yeah, XCOM should have won it all. I stand by that. Last year we didn't do a game of the year thing,
I know. I don't
but
know. I don't remember what happened. I was trying to look through. I think we kind of just like talked about it but we never did an official
I
like.
think my thing was I felt like I didn't play enough. Um, and it was kind of that thing of like by the time I did play everything I meant to, it was like the end of January, and it
Mhm.
just it was out of time. Uh, Bayonetta 2 would have won that, by the way. If we did have awards,
I can't see.
you could try to argue, but you'd be wrong.
I can't try to argue because I keep a spreadsheet.
A spread sheet.
I think I poured myself too much scotch before the show. Spreadsheet. I keep a spreadsheet of every game I played. You know, not necessarily every game that came out that year, but just literally like every game I played. I do leave off things that I've like been playing for years. Like if I go back and play Counter Strike, I'm not going to put it on my list because whatever. But games that are new to me in the last 12 months, I keep a list of that. I have to. Um, for the very good reason. Like last week, we were talking about these awards, and I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have like 4 games to like pick from in my pool. And I go back and look over my list, and it's like, oh yeah, that game. Oh yeah, that game. I think I
I played
played
20 Steam early access
this
games. I'm
games.
good to go.
Yes, 48. I think was my final count for this year. Most of those,
48.
most of those
Motherfucker.
not finished, and not all of those. That's including everything, not things that came out this year. Although I was really shocked at the percentage. Like I thought, well, out of all of that, maybe 20% are new game. No, most of them were. So a lot of stuff. And again, you're joking about it, but yeah, most of that is like little Steam, $5 games or early access games or things like that. But
Yeah.
there was a lot more than I thought there was. So
Yeah.
so best
That is.
soundtrack. That's my next
Well,
category.
so are we going with The Witcher 3 for that? I need to
Are we
make.
doing our picks or just talking about our nominations?
Well, I mean, I should, what's more there to discuss? I think The Witcher 3 wins. Do we want
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
into like what the 3 people who responded to our survey said, or
And the
survey
survey
says?
says
Right.
Um,
I figure like I don't see the point in arguing about it without if we're
yeah,
not gonna come
we
to a conclusion.
well, the only thing is there's probably going to be games that I haven't played that I was like, oh, I could look up, watch some Let's Plays or something and see what that's all about.
Well, we can do a tentative needs to see more thing, I guess. I don't know. I thought we were picking, but if we want to just argue about it, I'm fine with that
Yeah, I
too.
think, and then we can leave the big reveal up to next. Although I think most of these, like you said, are going to be fairly obvious which way we're leaning. Um,
Yeah,
Out of the survey respondents, there's three, but the one person skipped this, so that's how popular our website is. Three people responded.
that's right.
User one said nothing. There was nothing that had good writing. He didn't, or he or she didn't say nothing. They left it blank. Life is Strange was up there for best writing, which I think is interesting. We'll get to. Um, I do actually mention that in a category. Writing was not one of them, but I only played episode one of that.
Yeah.
Um, and
Wait, Dudecraft, what is a BO3? Sorry,
Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3. Oh,
Come on,
who calls it BO3? You call it Blops.
Blops. Yeah, I
You
assume
don't
that's
call
what
it BO.
I assume that's what he's referring to there. Um, so Life is Strange was listed for best writing from one person. I thought in episode one anyway that it was extremely corny. Like to me, it was very apparent that it was some like 40-year-old trying to sound like a 15-year-old
Yeah.
bestie and that kind of shit. But I do know that the overall story arc in that people loved, and I can't comment on it because I only played episode one. And anytime you have like a 5 episode season, or just I don't know if they're doing more of that, or if that was the full arc in that story. But it's unfair to judge the full arc by episode one because that's setting everything up. But anyway, so that was nominated, and Fallout 4 was nominated. So I'll
What the
assume that was
fuck is
Dude.
going on?
I'll assume that was Dudecraft. That's why he's sitting here in chat trying to defend it. Um,
I don't get it because it's like I don't know.
well,
I guess I'm hung up on the dialogue and how your guy is so fucking generic no matter how you play him. Like every dialogue choice is either like, "Of course I'll help," or "You really think I'm gonna help? I'm an evil piece of shit." Like,
Sean, where's Sean?
yeah,
I asked if
I,
you could get ammunition. Where's Sean? No, actually, it's
and,
not that because the first 5 minutes you're focused on finding your son, and then you're like, who's Sean? I've got to set
and
up radio
because it's
towers.
not because you have no like connection to that thing. Like it's not the game does not build it up enough to be like, oh, I gotta protect this thing. Like beyond the fact that it just says child, like you could make a text adventure with as much like emotional weight to be like, your son is missing. What do you do? Find son.
Here,
You
this is
know,
an
like
interesting side. I'll go askew here a bit. I wonder how much more connection you would have if they had when they came in. And this is a little bit of a spoiler. If you haven't played the beginning, plug your ears and go la la la. But when they came in and the cryopods unfroze and you watched them take Sean from your wife and kill her, if instead you were the one that had Sean and they killed your wife and shot you, but you happened to live, like, because then at least it would feel like this thing was ripped from you. I don't know. It's just it was such a fast. A lot of people loved that intro, and I thought it was just so. And I get it because you have to condense it. You got to get players into the game, or else that's really really bad too. Skyward Sword.
well, I thought it was good that like they showed like people actually getting into the vault and not just like, hey, you're a vault guy and now you're popping out of the vault. Like I liked that they were showing like, oh shit, the bombs are dropping. I didn't mind that. It was the fact that I was supposed to have like this. It felt like I was supposed to have this automatic
Well,
emotional attachment.
you went in and he was crying, and you spun the mobile above his crib. I mean, how much more attached can you get than that?
Yeah, like I said, if I put more time into it, maybe I'd find something there. But I don't feel like I would find the writing. Like
I know. Well, like we said, we could very well, and that's if we've got to that point now where I can say going back to Witcher 3 was awesome and also kind of a mistake because I was enjoying Fallout 4, and now it's really just making the shallowness of the experience so far stand out that much more, and I'm getting less and less motivated to ever like even play, go back to the game. Now I probably will because we're entering a notorious time of the year when there's just like nothing to play. But I don't know. So, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. That was nominated. That was one of the nominations there.
Yeah, I whatever. To each their own. I'm gonna turn off my heater. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Because
jeez.
I'm being cooked.
This is the second week in a row that you've left me just like hanging on the show. I need a pause button. I know I can do that. Set it up where I just like switch to intermission, have the Monty Python music or something, but then we get sued.
All right, we're back.
Good, because my ramble that was trying to fill airtime
Failed.
yeah, it came to an end. Best soundtrack, that's our next category.
Yeah, I love this category. Usually. I
Yeah.
found it was really hard to pick one this year, though. Um,
I thought it was, and then I've actually got
and you remembered Mega Man? I'm glad we agree.
yes,
Moving on.
Mega Man. Watching you play it and fail repeatedly.
I didn't fail at that, goddammit. I failed at fucking Mega Man Unlimited.
Oh,
That
the
doesn't count. That's a fan game.
fan game.
Despite what my review said about it, it's just a fan game.
Shadowrun Hong Kong again. It's got an amazing soundtrack. So even
So,
if you don't like that kind of game or like care about that setting or whatever, the soundtrack's really good. This is where Life is Strange shows up in my list. As much as I wasn't sold on the game after episode 1, the soundtrack is fucking awesome. And it's one of those things where not only is it like good, but it fits the game and the setting and everything so well that, I mean, that could very well be the highlight of the game. It's what made it feel like you were playing Juno. It wasn't the fact that you were playing these like high school characters or this or that, but it was like a Sundance movie festival video game in a good
that
way.
sounds that sounds terrible to me, honestly. Um,
And then the third one I picked is Ori and the Blind Forest because that's also really really good.
I kind of took a different pick. Usually we just pick, hey, these have pretty songs in them. Uh, I'm not really an 80s fan, but I liked the tone of Metal Gear Solid, where you're picking up these tapes and stuff, and where it just sounds absurd, like coming into like Take On Me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's I don't know that I know there's way other hilarious 80s songs that you can find, which is funny because the game takes place in the 70s, but whatever.
right.
But as soon as I got that tape, that's my like landing and takeoff helicopter like banner music.
Yeah.
It's way
Like, I
better when
liked
you're
all the.
it's way better when you're sorry leaving a mission zone and the helicopter's playing Take Me On because it's like yeah take me on. But
that's that's how you interpret it.
uh-huh.
I interpret it as a fucking old man out of touch with reality, but well, but I also like on the PC version how you can like choose you can just plop MP3s into a folder in the game, and then like that ends up in the game on your player, and you can set that shit up to you know whatever your helicopter theme can be, whatever you want. And so I got some badass fucking Emancipator shit playing.
I
And
am like a grandfather when it comes to like a great grandfather when it comes to MP3. Like I don't have any MP3s of anything. I have some like music on my like Amazon digital music library, but like
those could be MP3s if you want them to be.
yeah, but for somebody that plays like two instruments and I say that like that's impressive. It's not because I play them terribly. Like everybody when they find out, oh, you play guitar, it's like yeah. Like oh, what music do you listen to? I'm like, not much.
Yeah. Um, and I joke, I put Mega Man up as a nomination for pretty much every award we have this year. Um, but the Legacy Collection is cool, how it has all that music and stuff from those games. Like the Mega Man series should always get respect on at least that level, even if you don't like the games, which then you're fucking heathen. Um, but like the soundtrack has always been outstanding. Um, so so yeah, those were my picks. Like I said though, there wasn't that like clear like, oh, this is too good. Like this music's way too fucking good to ignore. Like everything, like it has its moments for me. But like The Witcher 3 had an all right soundtrack, but like there was no like truly memorable stuff in there for me.
Yeah, I mean, it it was good, but it was exactly what you would expect from a game like that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're riding off into the forest and sunset, and here comes the orchestra. Like,
I will say Ollie Ollie 2, for as fucking maddening as that game gets, has the right soundtrack for it. Like really sort of soothing, nice fucking electric music playing, and then uh, you're fucking failing on every goddamn combo and getting madder and madder. And it's like, if this music was just a little bit worse, I would fucking kill someone. Um, but yeah, so that gets a nod. But yeah, I think this is the problem we have here is like my selections aren't very strong, and I haven't played any of yours.
yeah, and see, kind of this is why I was suggesting we save like the actual picks. Soundtrack was actually the category I was thinking about with that because that's the one more than anything else. It's easy to kind of look up, at least find it somewhere or find a stream and listen to it for a few seconds. You don't have to sit and like watch a 8 hour let's play to get an idea
Right.
of the game. So, and to be honest, out of the three that I picked, I don't even know at this point because I didn't pick my favorite out of three. I just picked a couple nominations, so I don't even know which way I'm leaning with that.
Yeah. Me either. Me fucking either. Like now that I think about Ollie Ollie 2, that was actually a really strong soundtrack, but once again there wasn't anything that memorable about it. Um we need Journey 2 is what we need. Cuz that'll be easy cuz then we can just jump on what everyone would be like,
Or that like Rock Band VR game, whatever. I forget what it's called.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, which
Guitar
one's
Hero
doing
Live.
the Oculus version? I
I
forget.
have no idea.
Or not
I don't.
Oculus, that whatever.
You mean the FMV?
Well, there's one that just announced that they are doing a VR version of their game. So
That sucks. It's probably Guitar Hero.
yeah, I think so. Or it's either Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and it'll be separate from the next. I don't care. I've long quit caring about those installments just because nothing against them, but it's like I feel like I've been there and done that. Plus, I'm kind of past that. When I was when I was your age,
When I was a boy.
when we used to go over to friends' houses and we'd have like four or five of us with the whole like Rock Band set and like that was fucking fun, like to drink and do something stupid like that. We're kind of past that stage now. I don't do that, and those games by yourself, you've been there. Like they can release a new one. It's like great. I might as well play the first one that ever came out because they're basically the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, they add songs, but whatever.
Yeah. And like from what I understand, like the songs they've added have not impressed too many
Well, the
people.
problem is once you got like a huge library of songs, then you're I don't know. I mean, not that there's a shortage of music in the human history of music, but you do kind of like we've already used the big names, or we can't get any more rights from these people. Some of the big bands that are missing are bands that they've probably already tried to get the rights to and couldn't. Um,
Yeah.
so
The way I see it, the Beatles rock band exists. That's all I need
you're
if
done.
I ever need to play one of those again. Namely love is all you need. Um,
You just play that over.
but
That's what you do every day. You're just watching somebody play The Witcher while you sit there and play.
Beatles.
Yeah.
I should be a lot better at it then. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where best writing seemed pretty clear. best soundtrack is very muddled.
Yes. I think our
Best
next
multi
category, I think this one will be probably pretty unanimous, but we'll go through. What
uh
are your picks?
Rocket League.
Rocket.
Um
How do you spell that?
uh S the T. No. That was something when you beat The Witcher 3, like they put up the logo in like German, like after it's over, like before the credits, and it's like
Polish, probably, because
they're
they're,
Polish. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember where they're from, but I know they ain't I know they ain't American.
No.
That's for damn sure.
No, so we should keep them out until we know if they're safe or not.
That's how we know if they're American at heart. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
Rocket League was one of the biggest surprises of the year. Like I had no idea. Like
Shit, it was fairly obvious that the developer had no idea it was going to be what it was.
right. And for it to be a plus freebie is, like that justified that subscription alone in my book because it was just so fun. And they added a hockey mode, which I haven't played yet, but I
I
heard it
know,
was
I
pretty.
saw that. Yeah. And they're like,
Um,
rethink your strategy. And I'm like, strategy?
let's hit the ball into the net,
Yeah. No,
make ball go boom.
it's funny because that's one of the games I had to go back and I just played through one match to get some gameplay footage of for the video I'm putting together. And I had a teammate that was just that classic drive at the ball, drive at the ball, drive it, like no thinking, no strategy, no planning, just drive at the ball. And it was so fucking infuriating. Like
And he
one
was
game that I don't care if I win or lose because I'm literally just grabbing video, and it was the most obnoxiously frustrating. Like it is very good that voice chat doesn't work very well in the game and nobody uses it because
yeah. That's a game that really I don't think should allow voice chat, honestly. Because that shit is Mario Kart levels of infuriating. Um, Also, Splatoon was a lot of fun, and I still go back to it here and there. Like I think that game is, I wish it didn't do that thing where it locked you out of certain modes and like only certain modes were available at certain intervals. Like considering it's a $60 game, I want access to maps. I want access to all the modes. I want to be able to pick that stuff. I don't want the game to decide what I'm going to play.
yeah, I didn't
Like
realize it did that. So like they just go through like
there's
seasons
cycle.
or something. Yeah.
There's a couple of modes like there's ranked battles and then just normal battles and then like those modes and the maps available to them like are limited. Like and the game decides for you what you're going to play. Um Based on whatever mode you're choosing at the time, and it sucks because they've added a bunch of modes throughout the year, and it's like, why do I have to do this on your fucking schedule? Like, why couldn't you make a system like every other online game where it's
To
like I get to fucking pick what I want to play?
to me,
Um,
in the long run, maybe it'll work out because what that really does, if you have a whole bunch of modes and you have them all open at the same time, and people can like restrict, I'm only going to join a game of this type. If you don't have a real big player base, that can make it, lead to like really long wait times for matches and stuff. But
sure.
that game seems fairly popular. I don't think they would have that
Yeah.
problem right now.
Yeah. Well, people, I've never had trouble getting into a game. That's to its credit. All the modes are pretty fun, so I'm not like that upset that I can't get to like a specific one. But there are ones I like more than others, and I would like to have those options. With that being said, Nintendo, for their faults, they're doing a pretty good job with multiplayer. Um, but not really. It's not really multiplayer, but the online mechanics of Mario Maker are really, they give that game a lot of life. So yeah, good on Nintendo. Rocket
Who
League is still fucking the shit.
who would have ever thought if you were picking three games for multiplayer game of the year that two of them would be Nintendo games?
Who didn't know how to do online
Right.
for years. Um, But yeah, but at the same time, Rocket League is still like, I still, me and my friends play it on like a weekly basis. Like in our horrible ginger ale, alcohol filled fiestas, where, Rocket League comes up at least a little bit. Um, so
it's such a perfect game and it's like stupid simplicity. Like
yeah, it's totally the definition of a game. Like, how has this not happened until now? Like,
right. That's what it's a miracle it's made because I could just see sitting around being like, let's make a game where your little like remote control cars and you try to hit a ball into a goal. And it'd be like that's like
it's like a game that like I almost wish there was like a physical version of it with like RC cars.
oh there
Where,
there has to be a real life Rocket League that crops up at some point. Like
yeah, and then I would play the fuck out
I'd
of
quit
that.
my fucking job and become a pro Rocket League player. Like
It would be like that robot fighting thing.
right,
Like,
but actually interesting.
yeah.
Or maybe not. That's the one thing. One of the things that Rocket League is like the perfect esport game too, except it is not fun to watch, like as a spectator,
I
because
disagree.
it's I don't know. Yeah, I think it's so hectic that it's just like I don't know. Maybe they really need to give it almost like an overhead like Monday Night Football cam, like where you're just watching the whole arena instead of having
I
to.
don't know. Me and my friends all get a kick out of watching us like fuck up and whiff it and then like yell
Well,
at
that's
the
different.
fucking guy who's,
I mean, if you were like watching on Twitch or watching somebody play that you
yeah,
don't know, and yeah,
I can't really watch streams of it anymore because then I just want to play.
but Rocket League was one of my two picks. The other one will be very unpopular, especially with you. But I put like 300 between 2 and 300 hours into it this year, so I had to put Heroes of the Storm on here. Out of the MOBA crowd, which
Did
you
that
were,
come out this year?
yeah, well, shit, I think it's still technically in beta. No, it's out
What?
now. Yeah, it hit last year, I think, but it didn't actually be like released, quote unquote, released until this year.
That should count.
Well,
I don't like that.
but on the flip side, we left off any game that's in early access this year because we said it's not actually released.
Yeah, so
Like I
we'll never
said,
talk.
that's more on my list as a nod to. Like I said, I put between 2 and 300 hours in it, and it's nothing but multiplayer. So I had to put it on my list. But between the two, Rocket League would be the one that I'm leaning at.
Yeah.
Leaning towards.
Like Yahtzee, he wrote a really interesting thing about like how multiplayer games now really don't feel like multiplayer experiences. Like the way I remember back when we all had controllers and we were on a couch together, and like multiplayer does not even have like a lot of games don't even people don't use the voice chat. There's very little engaging. Like it's just sort of competitive, but for all you know, the game could have like made up fucking robots with just creative usernames, and you would never know. And I think that's really interesting that like even multiplayer kind of feels like a single player experience
Yeah.
at this point for me. Um, but it doesn't change the fact that it is real people you're playing with, hopefully, and Rocket League was the best.
And I've never wanted to beat the shit out of an NPC like I do actual people in games. Usually your teammates though, not like the adversaries. So
Yeah.
now because
So
I'm terrible at this, we did forget to mention the readers picks for
oh,
best soundtrack,
what do
and
we got?
Skippy McGee skipped that one as well. And then
Did he just put Fallout 4 as game of the year? Like,
no, the first person didn't answer the first two questions, but they answered the next one. So, and which we'll get to because we were on that category. Best soundtrack.
Right.
We're back to that real quick. Life is Strange was one of the submitted answers as well, and Xenoblade, which I assume they mean the very very new Xenoblade Chronicles X. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it doesn't count because the other Xenoblade came out years ago.
yeah.
Um,
I'd believe it. JRPGs usually put a lot of work into their soundtracks.
Yeah,
I never
I
played
can't
it.
contribute to that pick. That it was picked. I don't know. I want to play it, but I don't have a Wii U. And
I
even if
don't.
I did, I wouldn't have started it yet because I've got too much other stuff going on.
I'd probably watch my brother play it, but I
Yeah,
have no interest in playing that game.
that seems like the exact kind of game that would happen with, and it
Yeah.
probably will, but probably not until like 2021.
Oh
Your
yeah, that's
brother seems to
interesting.
play like old games, and then best
That's
multiplayer. This meshes up. Skippy McGee answered this one with Rocket League, and Life is Strange McGee. They're all McGee's.
they're all
Skipped
making
it because they apparently didn't play any
because
multiplayer
fuck
games.
multiplayer.
And the third person answered Splatoon, so we're kind of split there. Both of those are on our list. And Splatoon, I actually forgot about because I didn't get to play it, but from everything I've heard, that definitely deserves to be in talks.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
I just, like I said, the fact that I can pretty much play Rocket League however I want, uh, yeah, I think that adds a level of like, if I did think they were neck and neck and it was just a matter of personal taste, I would go with Rocket League. But I also think Rocket League adds a lot more. Um, like brings a lot more to the table. But Splatoon is incredibly fun as well. Overall, not like it was a pretty solid year for multiplayer for me. Like Splatoon, Rocket League, Mortal Kombat when I didn't want to fucking break the disc. Um, Destiny. Like I actually, I mean, I know the whole game has people in it, but like the typical deathmatch stuff. I mean, it's not a new game, obviously, but like the Crucible shit. Like I really have enjoyed that. Like it's a pretty fun multiplayer shooter. Um,
Yeah, I
and
mean, you could from I played a little bit of the Crucible stuff on 360 with the vanilla, very like at launch stuff. So, I mean, I know a
right,
lot has changed since then, but that part of it, I didn't love it just from the fact that that wasn't what I wanted to play Destiny for. I didn't pick it up to play arena shooter, but it was really, really good. I mean, it was
yeah.
for somebody that's not a connoisseur of first person shooter multiplayer. I mean, it was just up there with Halo or Call of
And it's
Duty
kind
or
of like I like that structure because I'm not like somebody who typically gets sucked into a multiplayer shooter. So I like kind of like there's this game I'm playing, and then like, hey, maybe you want to pop out of like the main quest stuff and go, just shoot people and get shot. Like I'm really fucking bad at it
oh,
because it's sort of Halo feeling shooting, and I'm terrible at Halo. But I kind of like that it's just sort of this little feature there that you can always go to when you have a break in the action. Um, but yeah, that's not even a 2015 thing. I don't know why I'm thinking
well,
about
you
it.
could cheat and say Taken King, but
I got it. I just got it in 2015. How
yeah.
about that? I was thinking about like what's the best 2014 game of 2015? Uh, because
Yeah,
I
that
did
would have been
play
a
it.
really good category. Where was that last week?
I kept track of it. I completely forgot like to bring it up to you, but I do have options there. Um, I played Grand Theft Auto 5, The Last of Us, Middle Earth, Transistor, The Swapper this
Middle
year.
Earth was the very start of my year. I don't have my. It'll take me a second to pull my list up, but very start of my year was mostly stuff that came out last year, which makes sense because it's the start of the year and what comes out.
Right.
Oh, and of course I went and flipped my list over to alphabetical instead of the order which I entered it in. But Alien Isolation was the other one I was trying to think of, and that might be 2 years ago, or it was like the
No,
very beginning of last year. Um,
Alien Isolation.
hmm
I thought that came out around October.
Maybe it did. I got it towards the beginning of the year, and I got it for like $10, so I assumed it had been out a while. But maybe it was just it was one of Steam's like winter sales or
I think yeah. If I'm remembering right, I think that was a game that went fucking dirt cheap like immediately.
yeah. Which is weird
Um,
because it was pretty universally like I mean it wasn't a blockbuster sales hit, but there wasn't a lot of
right.
people that disliked the game. It had all that stupid ass think PC shit about like the graffiti and this and that.
Yeah.
Video games writing is stupid, but
All
um,
right. So yeah. Wait. Who knows if our best toilet game category sucks? We'll fucking call an audible and go with a
Do that.
2014.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even write down the one mobile game I put for best toilet game. The best toilet game that I wrote down, what I wrote down for that is I like to play. When did I eat that? It's a
That's
game you
gross.
play right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
more than
no,
willing.
I get it.
Beep
Get you,
beep
Steve.
beep. I'm
I'm
backing.
picking up what you're
Just
throwing down, man.
Oh, I hope not. That's gross too.
Um, yeah.
But anyway, that's jumping. That's jumping
What's
ahead
a
a bit. Well, Audible, and
yeah?
in that spot, we can put best 2014 game of 2015. And screw you, readers that answered the game. Actually, I don't know that we got answers to that one. I think that was one that kind of nobody was.
Nobody fucking understood.
No, I take that back. We'll mention the readers' picks when we get there, but anyway,
Yeah.
the next
Well, I
category
know.
that
Well,
that
somebody on Twitter was just like Smash Bros.
yeah, which isn't
Like,
what our reader said, but that's not a bad. I don't know how that plays on 3DS. Like I would imagine, I'm old and I already have problems like staring at that small 3DS screen. A game
well,
like
Steve,
that,
let's send it a Nintendo game that we haven't played. Let's send it over to Derek Prim, and then it like cuts camera to like a skeleton with a
no,
beard and just
he would
like
be he'd be the weatherman in the middle of a hurricane, but about video games for some reason. He'd be, I'm out here in a hurricane cutting firewood and building a shed to talk to you about
that's
Smash
assuming you
Brothers.
believe he's alive.
Yeah, yeah.
My old joke is that Derek Prim's dead and gone, buried.
So it was literally
He's
a
haunting the
ghostwriter
show.
that put the review up this week or last week or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's pretending to be him. An alien, maybe. Um, but yeah. Next category. So that was all the multiplayer
yeah,
from our
yeah.
from our lovely people who
Splatoon and
provided
Rocket
feedback.
League. Splatoon and Rocket League. A best game
So
for
best
under
$20,
$20. Or as you put it,
best
best
$20 or less I've ever spent of
spent
a year.
of the year. Yeah, that's a mouthful that way. I don't like how you put it.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to my best $20 or less.
No, no, no. How will they know?
I've got two for this. Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'm kind of crossing my fingers there because it was harder than I expected to be able to go back and find what it. We had the caveat here: $20 or less at launch. So not like, oh, Call of Duty's on sale now for $15. We're talking. Basically, we're trying to say
1999, the day it came out.
the,
You know,
right. And that's harder to look up what a game was at launch, but I think Ori was right at 20. I think it was a 1999.
I think it's still at 20.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's had a price.
That
drop.
always pisses me off when a $20 game comes out and a year later it's still $20 because there's kind of just that like that understanding that hey, this game's cheap and it'll be really cheap in 2 months. But
Right.
it's a Microsoft game and they probably will never ever lower the cost of that. That's the kind of game that goes on Steam sale, and if you have it on your wish list, you get a notification like finally, and you look, it's like instead of $20, it's 18.27. You're like, what the fuck? Like
$3 off.
there's games that I'm almost willing to spend full price on that I won't buy out of principle if they do that on sale because it's like fuck you, that's insulting. But
Yeah, that's that seems like a saving that like you shouldn't announce to anyone.
right,
You know,
like it just
Like it-
magically shows up in your cart, and you're like, oh, I saved $1. That's cool.
nice. Yeah. I put this is kind of. I don't expect it to win because it did technically already come out. It didn't come out on these other platforms until this year, and I didn't play it until then. Shovel Knight, which I got for free, but it wasn't. I know it wasn't more than $20. Shovel Knight is amazing.
I want to say it was 15. Yes, it's very good. And they just teased me because I'm an idiot and I was unaware of it. But they tweeted something today like, which is our most anticipated upcoming addition to Shovel Knight. So I don't know if they've announced more DLC or if that was the tease. Like, hey, there's going to be more stuff coming out for it. Either way,
Yeah.
if there's more Shovel Knight, that's awesome. Cause
Yeah, and they added that Plague Knight content for free.
it's a
Yeah,
very, very good
and,
game.
and Yeah, and it's like it's cool that I think that they managed to move it onto so many platforms and it stays like polished. Like that they, it could have been very easy to be like, oh, give it to like this other fucking team to, port it. And
Especially
it,
since I think they're like a 4 or 5 man developer studio, maybe even less. But um,
right. But they did it. They did a great job. The only thing kind of, probably holding it back a little bit is the fact that the game has technically been out for a while. But it was really good. Another game I gave a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 10 out of 10 after someone else gave it a 10 out of 10. How about that?
yeah, it got a
That's
confirmation 10 out of 10, which
that's
is
20 out of 10 on
it
Njoystic.
is. Yeah,
Um,
we'll just say it was, and that was only because two of the three of us that played it reviewed it. If I, I think it would have got a third. We might as well go ahead and call it 30 out of 10. It's a very good game. I liked
yeah.
it a lot. I did have.
Rocket League I put on there.
Oh yeah, that's a smart pick. I
Just
didn't even think about that because that was definitely under $20.
yeah.
Rock.
And Mega Man always.
Yeah,
And
Mega
forever.
Man's automatically disqualified.
Mega Man is automatically the winner because it's good. You jump and shoot.
I had one other game on my list, and this is the one that like I'm most passionate about. My passion burns like a fiery passion of I
Don't
don't know.
talk. Don't talk
Fuck.
about your passion in Publix.
Armello. Uh, and it's one that I just recently picked up. I had my eye on it forever. Um, I've talked about this on Twitter before. Because everything I talk about on the show, I can't shut up on Twitter. So this is all just a rehash of my last week's worth of tweets, basically. But I'm a big fan of Brian Jacques, Jacob. I don't know. I was a kid when, so I don't know how to say his
Ryan
last name.
Jacques.
His Redwall series of fantasy novels, and they're like anthropomorphized animals that are knights and have their little towns and castles and this and that. And I
Like
just I
fucking fight off like weasels and shit. And
right, and foxes and weasels, all the like cliche, and I think crows or falcons, or it's been a while since I've read them, but I
I
loved
always like the
them.
badger stuff.
Yeah,
Like Salamandastron and
awesome books. I loved them. And so anytime something comes along that like even remotely reminds me of Redwall or that whole universe where you have like a little mouse like with a sword, it's like, yep, I like it. It's a mouse with a sword. So I ever since I first like noticed the game, it caught my attention because of that. I mean, that's the kind of setting that it is. But it's basically a board game. It's just a board game you play on your computer. And it does a really good job of feeling like a board game, but taking advantage of the fact that it's a video game, so you can do some things that you couldn't do with an actual physical board game.
yeah.
And it's just a ton of fun to play. I love it. It would be I have only played single player, but it would be really cool multiplayer as well. It's the kind of game where the game board, I think the individual tiles are kind of randomized, but it's always the castle with the kings in the center, and there's different win conditions like any good strategy board game. And so you pick a player that has strengths or weaknesses, and you decide, I'm going to go for a prestige victory, or I'm going to try to slay the king and usurp the throne that way. And you have to kind of guess at what the other players are trying to do, and you're all against each other, but at the same time, you're all racing towards the same goal. And there's a set amount of time because after so many turns, like there's going to be a winner. So it's not like you can all sit around and just turtle. And it's fun. I like it a lot.
I'm gonna have to see it in action because I've only seen screenshots for it and it kind of was like, this doesn't seem like my thing. Which it feels that way about a lot of games you talk about, honestly, where it's like you'll bring up a game and I'll be like, I wonder what that's about, and then like I look it up, it's like, grids. I'm all right, moving on.
Which is funny because
Um,
I think it's one you'd love because out of the two of us, you're the one that's actually into tabletop gaming.
right, but I like the physical feel. And it's not to say I wouldn't enjoy that. I've actually been kind of interested in it, especially lately since you've been talking about it. But I'll have to probably see a little more of it.
Yeah.
Um, what did our What did our survey say?
Let's go to the board if I can find the right tab. Best game for under 20. Rocket League is on there again. So that person's smarter than me because I completely, even though I had access to these answers all week, I didn't really look that close. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and say the one person that answered Life is Strange to best writing and best sound. Life is Strange was their pick for everything that they picked, and they skipped every category that it doesn't fall under. So no
So
answer
I
from
think they were
them.
fucking with us.
Well, I think it was the developer of Life is Strange.
I think I think this was somebody fucking with us. Nobody
Well,
likes that game that much.
the thing is,
Insane.
I decided a couple picks ago, but we've been busy talking about it, and so I haven't had a chance to say. Since they skipped everything else, I'm going to put my own answers in for them. So best multiplayer, their answer is going to be now Undertale, even though there's no multiplayer in the game, but that's the artsy thing to pick. Best game for under 20 or less actually fits, so I'm going to skip that. But I've got other answers for them that'll come in. But the third person answered Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, which is, I'm glad they did when I saw them put that. I had forgotten about the game. I haven't got to play it, so I can't endorse it, but I know people loved it. And I know from what I saw of it, it looked really cool. It's kind of a brawler, but it has that like really like comedic, but also extremely gory like aesthetic.
Yeah, it looks like really detailed cartoony style. I've never heard of the game, so
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good, but I haven't got to play it. So there's an
there you
endorsement
go.
for that, and it's under $20. So if you're out of money from Christmas shopping, that's
But
an
you're
option.
bored as hell.
Yeah.
There's something for you.
Our next category is probably my favorite, although I didn't get to do as much research as you, so I don't have a whole lot to pick from. But I'm
Well,
just
not a lot of research was necessary when what fuck, we know who's winning this one, but
it was served to
uh
us like at the most convenient possible time. But
yeah, like a fucking plate of sashimi just handed right to you. Um Dick move of the year is how
yes,
I phrase it. You've been phrasing it a lot more tactfully. Um but and so as we all know, winner of that is the fact that there's going to be another Kingdom Hearts HD collection. Moving on to the next award. Um, no, but that is something I wrote down. I did not know about this. It kind of snuck under my radar somehow, even though I am a Kingdom Hearts uh, aficionado, if you will. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 final chapter. What the fuck? Like, like that's not a title for something you actually release. 2.8? The fuck is that? Like, and it's one game. It's just the 3DS game that they're porting over to something somehow. Um, yeah, that makes no fucking sense to me, and I'm gonna have to buy it because
yeah,
I
that's why you're really mad is because you're like, this is the most disgusting like
because
milking of a series, and I'm going to buy it anyway.
yeah, because I thought we were finally home free. Like they'll release Kingdom Hearts 3, I'll buy that, and then I'm done with this horrible shit. No, it will never end. Uh, I also put down XCOM 2 being PC only, even though that doesn't really affect me as much anymore. I do think that kind of sucks. I understand why they did it, but I feel like it really sucks for a lot of people
Yeah,
who are like,
I'm surprised
wow, this
because
is really good.
when they announced that, I'm like, why the hell are they doing that? Because everybody loved it, even on and then you look at the numbers, and it didn't sell for shit. And it makes you want to go
But it,
grab every one of these Call of Duty bra console gamers and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go buy XCOM right now. Like,
it's also, I feel like they didn't do themselves a lot of favors with it, where it's like, all right, we're going to release the game. Oh, it kind of, it didn't do too hot. So let's release the game with like it's, DLC stuff, but it's not DLC because we can't get that to work on the console. So we just have to sell the game again.
right.
That seems like horrible business strategy.
Which,
Um,
that's a good crossover to one of my picks. So I'll jump in with that real quick because it's one that probably forgot about or didn't consider, but Destiny
I
releasing
had that down
there
too.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the just Destiny. I'm not going to elaborate. Destiny in and of itself is a dick move. No, the Taken King, the whole collector's edition shit, where
How that was priced was absurd.
well, it's
Where
like
like
if you already own the game, you can buy the Taken King DLC for cheap. But if you want the collector's edition, which if you're a hardcore fan, of course you do, you're gonna have to rebuy everything over again. With that made no sense.
well
But
like the Taken King stuff was really absurd because like when it first came out, to get all the like they assumed you already had like the expansions, the other expansions, but you needed those expansions for the Taken King, and so it ended up being like $70 to get all this stuff if
plus
you
the
already
$60 base game.
if you own the base game, you had to like spend $70 to get the Taken King shit, and it ends up just being cheaper to get rid of your copy of uh, Destiny and just rebuying the Taken King edition.
Hmm.
That is fucking horrifying. That actually happened. Um, Almost as horrifying. This is a little detraction from the topic, but at my job, somebody bought a used copy of Destiny, the Taken King edition. But the Taken King edition doesn't come with all that content on a disc. It has it in codes, and so he bought it thinking like, oh well, the codes will be with it because why would my lovely company ever sell back something that's incomplete? Um, and so he got it, and all the codes were gone and stuff. So he spent like probably 30 more bucks for a vanilla copy of Destiny without all the shit in it. And I was like, there's a lot of things you can kind of like weasel your way out of at my job when you work retail. You can kind of like, because it's true. A lot of the time it's like, well, it's just the company policy. But I was like, no, you should bring that in here and, either get your money back or get the game.
Yeah.
Because that's completely unacceptable. You should not be spending $55 for a version of a game because that's all the used price is. It's just $5 off, and not get all that content.
Right.
Like I know they're gonna try some shit and be like, well, we can't protect the codes or whatever. Then you shouldn't sell it used. Um, so yeah, I thought that was fun. Destiny ruining people's lives everywhere.
Yes.
Um, Arkham Knight on the PC. The fact that it didn't fucking like my problems with Arkham Knight, besides like the fact that that game was so busted when it came out that they had to pull it off the shelves, the digital shelves.
Yeah.
And then when they did put it back on, they really didn't fix much
No,
because they couldn't.
they're just like,
Uh,
well, here it's back with the caveat that it still doesn't work, but we're telling you ahead of time this time.
Yeah, and a lot of like, and some people were wondering like why there were like these negative categories because our industry deserves it sometimes, man. Like sometimes you need to like point out like this shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like, well, look at all this great stuff that happened. This was also the year where like a game like Arkham Knight was so fucking busted that it got yanked off Steam, which like the last time I remember that happening, it was a fucking cricket game, I think. Um, and now like they put it back up and it's still fucked up. And the only saving grace is that I don't think you should play that game anyway when it works. Um, but we have another category for that.
Yeah.
Anything else before I get into the laundry list? Any other moves that you saw besides the obvious?
The obvious one. Well, I'm going to. One of them on our readers poll was the obvious one, and the other one was backing you up on releasing Arkham Knight on PC. So I don't have. I put down for one of the dick moves I hated the most in 2015 is the sarcastic nice shot in Rocket League, just as a joke because that's not.
Dick, dick move of the year.
Yeah.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah. So that's
Uh,
not at all what we're talking. We're talking about industry moves, but yeah. And that's actually a dick move that I like. It's hilarious because I do it
yeah.
all the fucking time. Like, it's funny because just to sidetrack real quick, um, we talked about with Rocket League before how good it is probably that there's no voice chat in it. Um, I like games better when they do this. Hearthstone does it, and with Hearthstone, it's not as funny kind of in its implementation, but you can't chat. You can't even text chat in Hearthstone. It's just the preset like 8 things, or I don't know if they've had it. It's been a while since I played it, but you could always like when somebody really fucked up, do the nice move. Like it's supposed to be a compliment, but obviously you're being a dick. Rocket League
Right.
takes that to like I'm gonna spam that nice shot until it like it'll block
Well,
you
well,
for
nice.
a
I
minute.
don't mind nice shot because I can feel the anger behind that, and I've been there a lot of times. I hate like the fucking smarmy, like, and this is Rocket League where you interpret these voices behind it. You don't know what people are actually feeling when they do this, but you're just like when you see defending dot dot dot. Fuck, man, I hate that more than like if you were defending, they wouldn't have just scored right now, you asshole.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that is a truism of
It's not the actual category that we're going for, but I had to write it down because it popped to
yeah.
mind, and I'm like, yeah, that's a dick move, but
But
it's actually a funny one that I endorse because I do it as well.
yeah,
But
but there was there was one company who really took being an
they
asshole to a whole new level.
I am almost like we should probably between the two of us chip in and make a physical fucking award and mail it to them
Just
for
send
this
it to them.
because they
Well,
went
they
so
have three.
above and beyond. Like they strove for excellence in the field of dick moves,
Yeah,
and they achieved it.
I wrote it down as three separate nominees, but they're all under one umbrella. Kojima Konami Metal Gear,
Hmm.
Kojima Konami Silent Hills,
Hmm.
fucking Konami period. Just in general, like
Yeah.
Konami
Well,
existing
I
right
mean, if you
now
want to make
is the
that
biggest
third one
dick
a
move.
specific moves, Konami Pachinko, erotic Pachinko.
Konami, yeah, like to me, it's all under this umbrella of what the fuck, Konami.
But
Like,
to be honest, the one that takes that really puts them over the edge for professionals in the field of being dicks was the Game Awards thing.
I, to me, that wasn't even that surprising, given everything else they were doing.
I just think that though that is a special kind of asshole move, and
Yeah,
we should
and
probably
heck,
explain it in case you're one of the lucky people that haven't been wrapped up in the Konami soap opera that is 2015. Um, well, I don't know. You might do a better job explaining. Silent Hills is easy. They just fucked it over, teased
yeah,
the
what,
greatest, possibly one of the greatest games to ever be made, and then we're like, never mind.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I have no idea what they were doing with it, but, uh, yeah, Kojima, due to all the drama that surrounded Metal Gear development, this really interesting side project with Silent Hills that was teased to everyone with PT was scrapped. PT got yanked off, the store.
That's the bigger dick move there because we can't say scrapping the game was wrong. Who knows? Well, given where they're going, it makes sense. And then after the
Yeah,
fact, we realized it was more and more because of this relationship rift between
yeah.
Kojima and Konami. But
Well, it's this really frustrating thing of like, yeah, why would you keep PT on there if you're not going to make the game you're trying to tease with
except
it?
by removing
But
it, nobody that already has it can play it anymore.
right, and it's like, why can't like how do you do that? Like how like it because it so rarely happens. Like how do you have something like how do you have people who have a piece of content and then tell them like you don't have that anymore because we don't want it out there?
And granted, it was free, so it wasn't like, oh, you paid for this and we're
Yeah,
yanking it back, which has happened before in the past too. But I mean, anytime they shut down like an MMO or something, And I'm not saying that's not justified, but yeah, I mean, it's possible in this day and age of digital games to buy a game and eventually have it taken back. But
Um, but then
but
like,
they
go
had
ahead.
to specifically reach out to Sony and say we don't want this free demo available anymore. And in doing so for a time, it not everybody, but it physically locked people out of their PlayStations because of a glitch with having it but not having it and not being
Right.
able to authenticate with PSN. So I mean
Yeah,
that was a
fucking
big
with people's shit because you fucked up.
and really
Yeah.
more because of a childish fight that you're having with Kojima that you have to go and obliterate
And
any trace of this project.
we'll kind of get into it more when we get to Game of the Year, but this childish fight, I wrote down Kojima slash Konami Metal Gear. Their childish fight ruined what would have been a no-brainer fucking winner in my book. Like, and it not ruined, like it's still
Ruined.
ruined in the sense that to me it would be easily the front runner. If they like now it's a little more muddled because the end of that game was not allowed to happen. Like they didn't let it. Like the final mission got cut out. The final cutscene, like a fucking huge part of that story got fucking taken out because Konami just wanted it to ship, and they just wanted it out. They wanted Kojima out, and and then they top it all off. The game starts winning awards, and they're not letting Kojima be there to accept it.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking despicable. And the
That
fact that that fucking PR team got to accept the award when the fucking PR team is one of the worst parts of Konami right now. Like,
well, and that's what the one silver lining in all this has been the great comedy that's come along with we're parting ways with Kojima. Well, we didn't close the
he's
studio.
on
We just
he's on
fired
vacation.
everybody that's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's on
yeah,
vacation.
he's on vacation. And the funny part about that is not just the waffling, because you see that all the fucking time, especially in the Japanese business culture for some reason, where it's like taboo to be open about anything. But the timing of it all made it so hilarious because it was this Metal Gear Solid 5's not quite out yet. We're getting pissed that it's dragging along. Fuck Kojima. We're parting ways with him. And then the game comes out, and then they're like, well, we didn't shut down a studio, but we fired everybody involved, but Kojima. Like they never admitted that they like fired him because it was well, we parted ways. And then the game sells a bajillion fucking copies and everybody's loving it and talking about how great it is. And that's when it was, well, we're not parting ways.
We're
He's
not
on vacation.
we're not done with Metal Gear.
It's like, wait,
Not by a long shot. We're not
well,
moving to
yeah.
Pachinko.
And you got to kind of throw into this whole timeline this we're not making big budget games anymore. Fuck that. We're going to Pachinko. We're tired of investing all this money in games and it's not worth the return. And then the game makes a gazillion dollars and they're like, we never said we were done making games. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
fucking
just
did. It's right here in
yeah.
this. uh,
Yeah,
so
you guys said it multiple times and then you fucking doubled down on it and now you're taking it back.
So this news that is the least surprising news that has ever come across the like history of news that Kojima has his own studio and he's in talks that the in talks with Sony part's not like
That's
that's a
a
given, but it's not surprising either. But
right.
but you knew he
Like
wasn't going to just walk away from video games.
yeah,
But
and I figured it would happen, but I'm also, I was glad to read about it. Like,
yeah, sure,
good.
sure.
This is what he should be doing. He
And I
should,
think he'll be more successful that way.
because one, I
And
do, as much as I love Metal Gear Solid 5, I do think that series needs to fucking stop.
stuff. Well,
And
and I think the fact that he's in talks with Sony, it's a little depressing to me because I about guarantee his next project will be a PlayStation exclusive, and I don't have a PlayStation.
no, they actually talked about it. Like he says, it will be a PlayStation exclusive for a while, but it will go to PC.
Yeah. Um,
And and if it goes to PC, you could easily see it on other platforms.
sure.
But yeah,
But
so
Sony is one of the publishers to be in talks with that can actually bankroll the kind of crazy ass shit that he's probably
yeah.
wanting to do.
And
So
they're the company that knows him and would want to.
Right.
because they have this long history with Metal
Right.
Gear.
So that's good news all around, unless you're Konami, who I've been having great pleasure this whole week picturing as the dejected like ex-lover that was a bitch or a dick because it could be male or female and broke up with their partner thinking that oh, I'm going to find somebody better, and then didn't. And then before they can get the ex back, they're like engaged and getting married, and so now Konami's just sitting at home in their like robe with like cheese puffs all over their face, like,
Yeah.
and tears
Well,
streaming
it's
down their
just
cheeks, like, I miss you.
well, like all the petty moves you really see coming through from Konami on it. That's the thing. Like they've done an exceptional job looking like the bad guys.
Right, and we've said it before. In fairness, we don't know the full story, and I'm sure there's a lot that Kojima did that Konami is rightfully, deserves to be pissed about. But between the two, we know which one played their hand wrong, and
Right.
and
Yeah,
then
I have
completely
no doubt.
compounded
I have
the.
no doubt in my mind that Kojima is probably a huge pain in the ass to work
Oh
with,
yeah,
because most fucking creative people are.
and
Um,
he's big enough and successful enough and well known enough to play the "I'm Kojima. What are you going to do
yeah,
about it?" card. So
right.
they probably got to the point where they're like, okay, this is what we're going to fucking do about it. And that's fine. We were going to be mad. The publisher is almost always going to come off as the bad guy to the gamers, to the consumers, because they're the big bad. Corporations are all easy targets for that.
They're the limitation,
Right. But if
it's
it would have just stayed at that, if it would have stayed at we're splitting ways, the quitting the AAA development thing is something that was not going to be popular, obviously. Although at the same time, I, I will to forever make fun of saying we're leaving video game development to make erotic pachinko machines.
yeah, fuck. When you think Castlevania, you think pachinko and boobs.
Right. But at the same, again, that would have gone off into that. Who fucking cares? I mean, I'm not going to miss Castlevania. I know some people are. Metal Gear Solid. If 5 had never come out, I would never have missed it. And even with 5 coming out, I'm kind of with you with the. This was awesome, but we don't really need more of it. Like
I
an
wouldn't.
ending would be nice,
Right.
but
Um,
I mean, whatever. I'm trying to think of basically all their franchises are ones that it's like, yeah, we love, but for nostalgia reasons, and they've all fucking sucked for.
for a while.
Right.
Metal Gear is the one I would say like it's been pretty consistently good for the people who like it. Really,
Right.
it wasn't my thing, but now it is, and now it's basically dead.
So
Um,
those two things in and of themselves, parting ways with Kojima and not making games anymore, that would not have gotten them on this list. But the way that they did it, and then
yeah,
continually compounded the situation, culminating in the you're not allowed to accept an award for the game you made, or we'll fucking sue you.
right.
Like,
Yeah, like I said, they did everything they could to look like shitheads.
yeah,
Um,
and they pulled it
and
off spectacularly.
yeah,
Like,
not Dick Move of the Year, fucking Dick of the Year. Um, so good on you.
so, yeah, there's very little mystery, I think, on who we're gonna.
Yeah, yeah. Like just a company was a
But
breathtaking asshole.
like you said, it's important to step back and remind the industry and gamers and everybody that there were a lot of other really dickish moves. It's just
Yeah,
that one eclipsed them all with its blinding brightness.
yeah, because it was an all-year affair.
And if it wasn't enough in and of itself to do it at the end of the year, like that's when it all kind of came out, just the way it worked out
Right,
helps because it's also the freshest in all of our minds.
right. Just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
So we went through our survey nominees for that, so
Yeah.
it seems pretty open and shut there. Trends that need to stop.
This one was
I would,
harder than I thought it would be for me.
it would be if it wasn't my idea and I didn't already have an idea. Um, the messy kitchen sink approach. And what I mean is, when I say that, is games that have an established formula and they feel like they need to add features that are not like they're not
Because other
really
games are doing
polished.
them.
Yeah, well, or even that, just like they feel like this because it's a new console generation or something. This game needs more. It needs a system that is not natural to it, and we're not really polishing it up for it. We're just sort of throwing it in.
And I'm
Um,
not like disagreeing, but give me an example, like a specific game,
uh,
just to
Arkham
put you on the
Knight,
site.
the
So,
driving of
oh
Arkham Knight,
yes, yes, very good
and the
example.
fact that the fact that half that game at least was the Batmobile,
Well, and here's
and
the
it
thing
was
too. Like if
clumsy and fucking bad.
their argument was the Batmobile's an iconic part of Batman, I'll give them that, it is. But then don't give us this like bullshit like stupid Batmobile that nobody has an attachment to. And then I know they went
Also,
back and reskinned it as the classic. I'm like, no, that by this point
and
that's
also your argument, oh, not your argument, but their argument that it's essential to Batman is bullshit because I've just played 3 games where the Batmobile is not a factor
well,
at all,
yeah,
and
and
it
I
was
mean
great.
it's an iconic part of Batman's lore. That doesn't mean you have to throw driving segments in there. Fuck,
Right.
just show it in the
And
Batcave
tank
or
battles and stuff, and it's like,
and then make that like it seemed to me. I didn't play the game. I watched a lot of it on stream though. It seemed like 80% of that fucking game was drone battles with the
yeah, and it's the same goddamn fight. Um, so and so that is a whole system that was not it was completely new, and it wasn't thought through or polished at all. And I think for me, the mark of this is when a game does that, and not only does is that new feature is not fun, it undermines the other features that I like.
that's the problem.
And the other example I have of it, I think, is in a little safer spot than Arkham Knight was, and that was Fallout 4. With I thought the settlement building stuff. I
Yeah,
know a lot of people are kind of digging it, but the fact that that is not, well, like we talked about it, I think it should be a top-down view. I think you should just play it out that way. The fact that they tried to like shove it into like your first person perspective and stuff, and you're manually moving shit around is really kind of like it's like you have this neat idea, but you're too lazy to actually develop the full system for it.
right.
Um, and so mechanically, I feel like you're trying to add this whole fucking settlement sort of base building feature, but you don't want to go all the way with it. It's almost like
See, and you say safer, but I think that one pisses me. Well, it's easier to say because, like I said, I didn't play Arkham
well, I
Knight.
mean, when I
But
say safer, I mean the other part of Fallout is still intact. Regardless of what I think about Fallout 4, you can ignore all that settlement shit. You can't ignore the Batmobile in Arkham
yeah,
Knight. Like,
that's true. But yeah, I think the thing that pisses me off the most about the settlement building, other than it's boring and takes you away from the fun parts of the game, is that you have to gather materials, yet you have to manage inventory still.
right.
And it's like, oh, I can't tell you how many really fucking cool guns I've seen that it's like, well, that'd be awesome to pick up, but I can't because I have to carry these globes back so I can get my screws.
Right. So, yeah, that's kind of a mixture of like sort of the messy kitchen sink approach and like only dipping your toe halfway into the water for this new idea. Um, so I really, that's sort of what I've noticed the most this year. The other ones one is just sort of a constant, uh, but it seems like it was particularly bad for me this year. Busted ass games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, even
Well, I
like
mean,
The
it's kind of
Witcher 3 is brilliant. It took me 3 fucking days to install it to get it to play. Like, just it would not start up forever.
well,
And
I think the bigger problem is getting to the point. It used to be like, oh, this game came out and it's glitchy. Like the person's face might be inside out, and you're like, wow, that's weird.
but now it's like
The games
they're
don't even
really,
fucking work. Like,
yeah, and there are occasions where it's way worse, such as Hand of Fate, where it does work kind of. It's a glitchy mess, and then you get to the final battle and your save corrupts,
bastards.
and you're fucked, and you can't get it back. Um, so yeah, that is terrible. This one I noticed playing, particularly near the end of The Witcher, sort of added this last minute, but I've realized it's been in a lot of games that I've played. It's not just this year, but over the last few years. Missions where you follow characters who don't move at the same speed as you.
Yes.
I'm so fucking
I've
tired of it.
never understood. Now, I get if you, in a game like Witcher Assassin's Creed, where you have a button where you can use the sprint button, maybe you don't full out sprint, but you speed up just in case like you walked a weird path or something and you're falling behind, you need to be able to catch up. But
Right.
your normal walk shouldn't be faster or slower than the other person.
But here's where it gets bad near the end of The Witcher, and you haven't gotten to there yet. But there's a point where you and Yennefer are running away on horses from shit, and like fucking stuff's blowing up around you, and it's an escape sequence. And you're supposed to follow her, but if you just sort of gently gallop or walk, you're gonna get hit by everything. But if you sprint or like a full speed gallop, you're gonna fucking pass her in no time, and then you don't know where to
Yeah,
go.
right.
So I was like
I
completely,
noticed
it's
that.
just stopping, waiting for her to pass me, going a little more, stopping, waiting for her to pass me. It was fucking terrible.
I noticed at the beginning of the game they always put your waypoint as where you're supposed to go. Even if you're supposed to be like with somebody or following them, it'd give you the final waypoint. And then towards the end, all of a sudden, it would make the waypoint the person you're supposed to follow. So, like you said, if you pass them, you don't know where the fuck you're going. Like, I don't know why. It was just a weird thing that I've noticed here
Yeah.
towards the end.
And like when you would have to follow someone and you pass them and then they would just stop. Like they didn't do it all the time, but then sometimes they'd be like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking waiting for you. Like I'm supposed to follow you. Why is it like this?
What about that
And
one
it's not
fucking
just
dwarf mission that it was towards the end there where you're on the Misty Isles and you had the one dwarf that you had to lead back to the cabin that was a
that fucking sucked.
like what was the point of
That
making
was
him fall asleep randomly because you never got attacked at that point. It was just, oh nope, you have to go back and press A, wait for the asshole to stand back up. Like it added nothing.
Yeah. I did like that mission. And I hated that part, but I did like this is
Yeah.
a spoiler, but when the fucking troll falls to his death after you save him,
Yeah, yeah.
that
That
was
was
fucking
hilarious.
hilarious.
And I like that you don't
Um,
even like go like oop like try to catch him. You're just like, oh there you go. Oh, he's dead.
Carol's just like shit.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, fucking moron.
But
Um,
but anyway, yeah,
yeah,
I agree with you. That's a very good one. Like different speed walking NPCs.
it's
Bastard.
just so annoying, and it's like so many games do it where it's like, don't like if it's just gonna be a dialogue-driven thing. Particularly, The Witcher is pretty bad about it because there's a lot of times where you're gonna be like walking around with someone and they're gonna be talking to you, but the whole time I'm focusing on just trying to keep them
Stay in
around where I can
range,
hear them.
right?
Um, it's yeah, I really am tired of that. So those were my nominees. Once again, it's kind of that thing of like, I'm a
I think
cynical
what
fuck.
made this so hard for me was that a lot of these problems, like you said, have been around for so long that it's almost like we're just resigned to like, yeah, fuck that, but that's games.
Right.
But the two that stood out to me as 2015, again, these aren't things that started in 2015. That would have this category would have had nothing. But ones that were particularly bad or seemed to be getting worse. One of my big pet peeves are early access titles that last like more than 12 months in early access. Like I get if you're going to release your game 2 or 3 months ahead of time, try to get some bugs out and basically have a paid beta. I don't
Yeah.
love it, but I buy a lot of early access games, so I'm obviously not that opposed to it.
Right.
But when a game's there was one, and I really like the game. I won't mention it because I need to look for sure. But I think it was in early access for 2 fucking years, and then they're like, "Oh, now it's released." You're like, "What? Oh, okay."
Yeah. I think one that just came out, Nuclear Throne. I think that was in.
For a
I don't
while,
know if. Yeah,
and
and like because like I remember people were like, "Oh, Nuclear Throne's out," and I'm like, "Wait a minute! I watched a Giant Bomb video for that like 2 years ago.
right.
Like,
And
what do you mean it's out?"
the shitty thing about it, I hate that, but Nuclear Throne looks like a really fucking cool game. Like I want to. It's in my wish list. But here's what they do, and this. This is one of the reasons why the trend needs to stop because developers are fucking shooting yourselves in the damn foot. Nuclear Throne comes out, and I'm like, great, it's technically been out for a year and a half or more, and now you release your game and you want me to pay you $15 for it? Like, I feel like this game's 2 years old. I want it for $1. Like
yeah,
you really kill what I'm getting at is you kill any sort of launch hype or momentum.
yeah, you do kind of undermine your own, like, shut up and take my money feeling of like, this is a new release and
And I
stuff.
get
But
something like Nuclear Throne bothers me a lot less because there's some, well, they're not that small and they've
well,
had
they
some
also
success.
said they
But
also said that, like, they're kind of committed to like their price point on that game, where it's like, this is what it is. We're not going to do a bunch of fucking sales for it or whatever, which is like disappointing me because it means I probably won't buy it.
exactly.
But I do sort of respect that they're like, you look, for everyone who bought this, we don't want them to feel like they're being undermined.
Yeah. Well,
Like
maybe you
after
shouldn't have sold it a year ahead of time. But
there you go.
so yeah, that's one of my trends that I would like to see stop. And then the other one, and this is getting really, really fucking stupid, and it really extends past, beyond the gaming industry as well, but it's particularly bad in games. But announcements for announcements. Like, I mean, we're to the point where we get announcements for announcements for announcements. Like,
Yeah,
here's
it's
tune in for a live hour-and-a-half presentation of us telling you that in November you're going to get a teaser trailer for something that will tell you about next year. It's like, fuck you. Like, tell me if you have something to tell me, tell me. If not, just
check out the Nintendo Direct press conference next year where we will show you a teaser for Zelda again.
yes. So that really needs to
And
stop.
that way you'll know that Zelda's still being worked on.
And as annoying as it is now, it was 1,000 times more annoying back when I tried to actually keep up and like cover news, because then you kind of have to watch that shit. And so then you really feel pissed like a hostage. Like, I'm up at midnight on a Tuesday to watch a Nintendo Direct that's going to tell me that next month they're going to tell us a new character for Smash. Fuck you. Like, but it's getting so ridiculous. And I think the biggest frustration to me about something like that, the reason we have announcements for announcements for announcements is because people seem to eat that shit up. People stop caring. Like, stop losing your shit if a developer sneezes. So I'm yelling at you. Not you, Ben, but you, the people of this United States of America. So those were my two picks.
So, our call quality is going to shit. So I don't know. Like, we still have like half of our awards here. Do we want to like maybe reset the call or
We can do that.
try something like that? I don't know.
Eventually, I'll have set up a nice. I was talking
see
about
if it helps. I
was talking about it when you ran to do the heater. I need like an intermission screen, but yeah, we can pause the show. That'll give me a chance to get another drink and hopefully fix the
yeah.
call
Let's
quality.
what?
Yeah. So we'll be right
Yeah,
back
I
with
need to
the
see if
second
we're trying
half
to
of our
stream
list.
Netflix in my.
So stay tuned.